Hello everybody, this is Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead on our Friday chat. You notice we're not in the house today. The temperature outside has gotten to be a little bit more pleasant. We're probably 65 degrees right now. It is still raining. Not bad though. We had about 3 inches altogether.
Maybe 3 over a period of 24 hours.
Took off, and what happened was the wind blowed all day. I mean,
it was just a strong wind. It was pretty strong.
About 20-mile-an-hour winds blowed all day yesterday, but woke up this morning to some rain. About a 20-minute downpour, about 3 inches. Something that's not out of the normal for us, so we're good with that.
Just north of us.
Probably what, 45 minutes. Now, actually, tomorrow is a day when we're supposed to be putting in our above ground crops. But because on the 12th is above ground crop day based on the almanac, but we're not going to be able to do it now because of the rain that's come in. So the next above ground days will be the 15th through the 17th of this month, and we're going to take and
try to get there.
Going to try to get there if the rain will stay let up enough this week and the sun maybe will come out. We're actually supposed to be in the low 80s for like 3 days, which is going to be perfect for getting our plant.
Green beans and corn. Green beans and corn.
Green beans and corn is what we're going to be planting this coming week. And but after the rain, it shouldn't be a problem because no more rain than we've had. We have a lot of containers out. We have close to 100 containers out. So we may be going ahead and putting some of our seeds that we planted in potted little small pots.
Because all of them are up.
They're up. They're up about an inch to 2 inches. We may go ahead and start moving them to containers.
And even if we get a freeze, we save a lot of
water jugs.
Oatmeal containers.
Oatmeal containers. We have all kinds of stuff. We got all these small pots from the nurseries and stuff, like these little black pots. We can cover anything if it goes to get cold. So, but you go out and...
My strawberries, I get a few strawberries every day. I fixed yesterday strawberries and bananas for a snack. I do my lettuce, my green onions, we have some garlic, I add some carrots. I have a salad every day.
We're already harvesting some of our asparagus.
Yes.
We've been adding that to our diet because we are at the point on our homestead now where we're beginning to eat in season. That's something that we're trying to do this year. We've wanted to do it for several years, but this year especially, we're going to try to make that some things that I'm going to be doing this coming week is, you saw I had one video out about grafting plums. Well, they started sprouting this past week, so I went ahead and grafted them. Well, we noticed a while ago, between the rainstorms, the apple trees are starting to put on leaves. So we're going to be going out and we're going to be grafting apples this week, and we may put a video out about that, about getting some of that done. We've got some videos about how we pruned our trees. Those are going to be coming out. So, I mean, there's a lot of things on the homestead this week that we've been doing.
Yesterday, we didn't have much to do, so we did a tour. This is the first time we've taken and went all over the property.
Yeah.
We have 10 acres, and I videoed blooms, flowers, buds, all on leaves.
We have trees in the woods that have huckleberries all over them already, the green huckleberries.
And that's like my favorite, so I have video of huckleberry trees everywhere, so it's probably going to cut a lot.
Yeah, plus we've got only one clump of these that we found on our property. We have wild blueberry trees that are probably 12 feet tall, growing in one clump in the thick part of our woods down there. We've taken and cleaned out around them some, so we're going to try to really put forth the effort of taking care of these trees, because they're the only native ones we've found here on our property. And we have a lot of other things on our property. We're trying to turn our whole 10 acres into a permaculture type situation. We have peach trees in full bloom right now. We're probably going to try to get that out in one of our videos.
We have, our potatoes are up. I mean,
the potatoes are up probably, I'm going to say 5 to 6 inches tall. We're going to probably be seeing that in some videos. We got English peas are up about 5 inches tall. We have asparagus up right now that we planted this December. It's like 2 feet tall already. Everything is just, we have Our sweet potatoes that you saw in the video for us planting sweet potatoes in the bed for the slip, they're already up out of the ground, so we're going to be putting that out in a video here. We've got cabbage plants that are probably, I don't know if you can see this, they're probably this big. The leaves and all already are just beautiful plants.
Dark green plants. The chicken fertilized work.
Chicken fertilized worked on that. We've got garlic, you know, this tall. So multiplying onions is like crazy. We've got so many things going on right now that it's going to be hard to contain all of it in some videos, so you're probably going to see a lot of videos coming out. You may not see the whole property tour in one video because there's just too much to show. So it may be 2 or 3 videos.
Yeah, and when we did the tour, we know it's getting close to time to do our canning.
Yeah.
And so we've been the last month or so cleaning out the freezer as far as going through eating what we have already in the freezer, getting it out because we want to add some more. We're going to try to put as much in jars, but that leads us to, you know, you need to inventory your freezer.
I think that's something on Homestead that has to be done this time of the year, because as we begin to go into the part of the year where you're going to be having a lot of fresh vegetables, it's time to do an inventory on deep freezes and stuff like that. Dig down to the bottom, figure out what you got. Let's try to get that stuff used out of there, because look, if you're like most people, it'll end up sitting down there for a year or 2 and then it goes bad, and it's really, you've wasted effort, you've wasted resources. There's a lot of stuff that's just been wasted that way. How much food is enough for a family for a year? Now, that's going to be determined about how many people's in the family.
Yeah, and for us, just 2 people.
Yeah. Wanda and I try to, first of all, we try to figure out what we're going to eat. If you're going to can, rule number 1 is can what you will eat. Don't just can something because it's there.
Or you saw a video and you said, oh, I like that, let me go do it, because you're wasting your time, effort, and money.
That's what we're doing this year. We're trying to do an inventory on what we will actually eat out of the cellar. Now, we predominantly can potatoes, green beans, tomatoes, squash, English peas. We have some peanuts, relishes, pickles.
We did some ketchup last
year. We made our own ketchup. I mean, these are things that we've been doing, but we're wanting to look outside the box this year and try to incorporate a few extra things into what we can into the cellar to kind of make our meals a little more interesting. Yeah, but I have a theory that and it's a theory that comes from being in survival situations. The best way to preserve your meat is on the hook. I mean, I'm just being honest. Now, granted, it can get to be expensive sometimes, but Wanda and I have the land, so it's not really that big of a deal for us. We can move an animal around on the property somewhere, help clean up the property or whatever. So it's really, in a life-changing event, when say there's no electricity or whatever, and you've got all your resources or your resources are in a freezer, say, you've got lots of meat in the freezer, then you're kind of up the creek without a paddle unless you're going to eat a lot of meat in a hurry. Or you've got the option of canning it. But if you don't have the jars and the lids, there again, you're still up the creek without a paddle. So our theory is the best method with meat is just to have it on the hook. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with canning it, because we're probably going to can some this year, just simply because
it's quick and easy.
It's quick and easy to feed the family. You don't have to wait a long period of time for it to cook when you get ready to serve it. That's one reason we can as much as we do, because Wanda and I both work side by side, and if we come in the house, we don't have a lot of time to sit and spend an hour and a half to cook a meal. We can open a jar. It's predominantly already cooked. Basically, all we have to do is heat it up.
And you can eat it not even heated if you want to.
If you had to in a life-changing event, you could eat it not heated.
Because it's done.
It's already preserved. It's done. But that's just something we want to talk about, is how much food is enough for a family. Wanda and I, like we said, being 2 people, we try to do 2 jars of everything we put in the cellar to can per week for each one of us. That way, there's 2 of us. There's 52 weeks in a year. We would try to do 104 jars of green beans, let's say. Carrots, we don't eat as many carrots, so what we do is we drop back, and we like to say we have as many as 55 to 60 jars of carrots.
If we can. Yeah.
If we can. The English peas, we usually put up somewhere around
60 to
62 has been the average on the English peas.
Potatoes is something we can use.
We're gonna do more. We're gonna do more potatoes this year.
Twice a week. So potatoes, we're planning on probably 150.
Yeah,
if we have it.
probably 150 quarts of potatoes this year. You know, if we can put them up. Of course, we'll have some fresh that we'll eat along. We're gonna can a lot of squash because Wanda knows we use the squash now instead of. We make a squash dressing out of it. She does. Uses cornbread, which. Another thing, we'll be planting corn, letting it dry this year so that we can make our own cornmeal this year, and then our own grits and things like that. Trying to get away from some of this GMO stuff that you get in the stores. Even though we buy organic when we buy, still you just don't know. You know, you don't know. And so we do 2 jars of each thing we put in per week of the year. Basically, is how we figure it. Now, with a larger family, you're going to have to figure something different. We've also been asked the question, how much land is enough land to homestead? I don't know that there's a right answer for that.
How much land do you have?
I think it all depends on your mindset. Some people, 100 acres may not be enough. Some people, a half acre may be too much. You know, so it's really going to depend on you as an individual about what your dreams are as far as homesteading. What you can afford, because you know, maybe in my porch time chat I might have confused a few people because of some of the comments I got about my way of thinking on that. Let me just kind of clarify something. I spent 7 years busting my tail, working 16 hours a day, 6 days a week to pay for my homestead. Now, when I make the comments in there, we don't go out and eat and all that kind of stuff. I didn't go out and eat during those 7 years either. I didn't go buy anything that I wanted during those 7 years. As a matter of fact, I would go to buy my overalls. I bought 10 pair of overalls at one time. That was my clothes for the year. You know, I buy 10 pairs of these shirts. That's my clothes for the year. You know, I went and bought all my socks, all my underwear, all my t-shirts. My overall, I bought all that at one time. I got it over with. There was no more clothes bought for the rest of the year.
That's a man's shopping.
I mean, that's a man's way of shopping. So that's what I did. And if I confused anybody about the way I worded some of that, understand that if you own a home, and I know you have to pay for it. If you got land, you got to pay for it. That's what I did. I busted my tail for those 7 years, and I sacrificed. When I say I sacrificed, that's what I'm talking about.
He didn't do without.
I didn't do without.
He had plenty of food. I mean, I wasn't here, but
right.
They didn't do without. But you got to know, too, during that time, Debbie had cancer.
My wife had cancer. I spent 6 years of cancer with her, taking her back and forth to a doctor on top of working and taking care of her.
So he was doing double duty because he was the caregiver. She didn't have anybody else to do it.
Right.
So he did do a lot to make this place what it is now. And for all of you out there that have a place that you're working on paying for, make that your #1 obligation.
Make that your #1 priority, paying it off.
Pay it off
get out of
and
debt.
get to this point, because he didn't get here fast.
It didn't happen overnight.
Time.
Yeah, it didn't happen overnight.
And
we know. I mean, before we get too far into this video, look, Wanda just needs to throw out some stuff here about what she's got going on. So before the video gets to be extremely too long.
Yeah, our Frugal Family Food Collaboration. This week is somebody that's very special to me. I've been watching this couple for almost 2 months now since we started our channel, because I was just amazed at what they had going on. If a lot of you don't have very much land,
right,
and they live in an urban area, they have what they call an urban homestead, and it is Hollis and Nancy's homestead. Nancy is doing our Frugal Family Food Collaboration, and she's doing fried rice. beautiful little lady. I love her smile. That's what first attracted me to her. And Hollis, bless his heart, he has the most perfect garden in a little area that you can ever imagine. So if you're thinking of doing an urban homestead, check Hollis and Nancy's homestead out. And check out our fried rice that she makes, because it looks really awesome. And we're just glad that they joined our collaboration.
Yeah.
Another thing I have going on is today I was talking to Melanie from Road to the Farm. I mentioned that I was working on a colloidal silver video, and I'm going to have that out possibly next weekend. She and I have decided to collab on that, and she was working on one also. She didn't know I was doing one, I didn't know she was doing one. So we're going to work together. She's doing her version of it, and I'm doing mine, and we're going to put a video out possibly a week from Saturday on colloidal silver. So you'll be getting a 2-for-1 deal. Melanie from Road to the Farm and Deep South Homestead on colloidal silver.
And we got our giveaway. We're going to be drawing on, what did you say, the 17th?
The 17th.
We're going to be doing our drawing on that. And a lot of y'all, there's a lot of you that's getting really close to the right answer. There's a couple of them that's actually even gotten it really right. So that's pretty interesting to me.
And we are giving away Danny's seeds and my dried herbs. So that will be going out on the 17th. We will do a special couple of minutes drawing and show you who won.
And thanks to all y'all that's entered, because that means a lot to us.
The comments are awesome.
Comments are awesome.
DeepSouthHomestead.blogspot.blogger.com, I think. I'll put it in the link below. But I've got a couple of things I've wrote and put in there. Just trying this blogging out. I'm not sure how that's going to work, because I have trouble saying what I feel. He can talk about his, but I have to write mine. So if you're interested, I'll try to update it at least once a week, possibly. I'm not going to be an everyday thing with it, just maybe once every now and then. But just check out my blog too.
Wanda, I'll let her tell you a little bit about this. She built me a blood building broth, and I'll just let her tell you basically what's in this.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, I went out, I put 2 big double handfuls of kale, a couple of collard leaves, a couple of tender greens. I put fresh garlic, 2 cloves of it. I went and cut up 1 onion in it, carrots, and then a couple of jalapenos, which he says is too many jalapenos.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit much.
It needed the heat in order to for the blood to flow, because any hot peppers will cause your blood to flow freely, and it will help clear up the arteries. And I put all that in a pot. I cooked it real slow. I got it on a boil, turned it down, cooked it slow for a couple of hours, and he was drinking on the broth.
You're supposed to put a lot of protein back in your blood. Yeah, well, the reason she's doing this is, I'm going to throw this out there. I am having some health issues right now. I've been back and forth to a doctor here. It's been a couple of years now since I actually been. I just gave up going because they really didn't find what was wrong. But I'm having a lot of pain in my right side and my back. I'm losing weight really, really fast. Probably lost 15 pounds in 2 months now. I wake up in the morning, my guts are growling like crazy. I stay hungry all the time.
And he eats.
And I eat like a horse.
He eats all day long.
I try to eat at least every couple of hours. I mean, I'm going through, I'm gluten-free as much as I possibly can be. We're trying everything possible. But this pain in my right side and my back is what's bothering me. I don't actually know what it is. I wonder if it might be a large kidney stone, but I've had kidney stones my whole life and I've never lost weight because of it. Let me put it that way. We don't have insurance, so it's not like we can just run to the doctor with what's going on.
And one of the things the doctor did tell me, thought he had a gallstone.
They did tell me I thought I had some.
But they didn't want to remove it.
Yeah, they didn't want to take my gallbladder out because they just said they just don't do that hardly anymore. They just treat the symptoms and
change your diet.
Change my diet. So we've tried all that, and the pain still seems to be radiating around my rib cage and predominantly in my back. So what I want to do is I know I've got some good people out here on my channel that are really, really good God-fearing people. And what I want to ask y'all to do is just as a favor to me, is just to lift me up before the Lord in prayer and ask that I can find out what's wrong with me and that God will heal me of it, or that He'll show me some natural way that I can go about to get this problem under control so that I can gain some weight back, because I'm really staying fatigued, having a lot of brain fog, dizziness, and all this kind of stuff's going on. I don't think that my blood is getting enough oxygen to my brain, really. That was one of the reasons we was doing the blood building stuff that she made there, the broth. So just what I guess what I'm asking is just put me in your prayers and lift me up before the Lord, that I'll be able to figure out what's going on, and I'll be able to get back to my daily routine. And if it's something that can be fixed, and if it's not, then that God would give me the grace to deal with whatever it is that's going on in my life. And if y'all could do that for me, I sure would appreciate it. And if you liked the video today and the chat that you heard between Wanda and I, please be sure to like it and share it with your friends on all the media bases, and most of all, be sure to subscribe so that as we do things on our farm, you'll be able to know when we do them, because when you subscribe, it makes it so much easier for it to pop back up on your channel. We just put a new video out and you kind of stay up with us on what's going on.